Alcaraz and Sinner were in action. Raducanu returns to Wimbledon. We've had a fantastic day one. Game to love are here. This is our roundup.
That's right, day one in the books, and it's been a really entertaining day one, hasn't it, JG? We've had many 5-set matches. That's what we love at a Grand Slam. We haven't had any rain, which is, well, normally the thing at Wimbledon with the covers being brought over, and we've had a few Brits in action. Emma Raducanu back on a tennis court and back to winning ways again. Where do we get started? Because I think the day started with some bad news. So I think we should start with the bad and then move to the good, because it was one of the big contenders on the women's side that actually dropped out the tournament today, and that was Aryna Sabalenka.
Yeah, it's the best place to start. We did allude to it in the draw preview. Neither of us had Aryna Sabalenka going far. We knew she had this rare shoulder injury. No tennis player's ever had this injury, apparently. And she's put out this tweet saying she's heartbroken to have to tell you all she won't be able to play the championships this year. I tried everything to get ready, but unfortunately my shoulder's not cooperating. This tournament means so much to me, and I promise I'll be back stronger than ever next year. So no, Aryna Sabalenka, the bookie's favourite coming into Wimbledon. And that's a great opportunity, I do feel, for the likes of Raducanu. She is the big winner. Iga, another winner in this. And Coco Gauff as well. These other players, I feel like some of them are going to fall anyway. Which one can remain the most consistent and can get used to the grass will be the one who goes all the way and wins it. But super open draw on the women's. Of course, it is disappointing that she's not here. And her opponent, who we thought she was going to go out to, Mirra Andreeva, has also gone out. What a big shock for me in your bracket. Yeah. It's really, really ruined it for us because we had her going far. And I guess the people in the live chat who said we shouldn't have done it were right on this occasion, because Mirra Andreeva went out to Brenda Fruhvirtova, who's another young, up-and-coming talent. It was everything going right for Andreeva. 6-1 first set, and then the following set, 6-3, 6-2. I don't want to be critical of Mirra Andreeva because they're both 17 years old, and I truly believe it was just a fantastic performance from Fruhvirtova. And I wouldn't be surprised now if she is the one to do what we thought Mirra Andreeva was going to do. I don't think it's a case of this is just a win and that's it. I think she's going to go on a run here. I truly believe we could see Brenda Fruhvirtova make a name for herself this tournament. This was a statement win. I know it's only another 17-year-old, but I think it's a big statement because I had such high hopes for Mirra Andreeva, and she does very well in Grand Slams.
Yeah, last year, I believe it was 4th round she made of Wimbledon, so to knock her out in the first round is really impressive. It's not an easy draw for Brenda Fruhvirtova, but like you said, if she's just beaten the number 24 seed, then she's going to be thriving with confidence right now. And I think that those two 17-year-olds going up against each other, it was just great to see like they're going to be two of the top talents on the women's tour. I've got no doubt about that. In, say, 3 or 4 years' time, they're both going to be right up there. And Brenda, I thought it was maybe too much too soon for her. But it turns out she's actually turned up. And now she's going to face Paula Badoza in the next round. I mean, that's a hard-hitting lady if we've ever seen one. And if she was to get past her, potentially Daria Kasatkina, who's been in amazing form on grass. So it's a really tough draw. But, well, if you get through those matches, you put yourself in a really, really good position, and people might start considering you to be one of the potential favourites for the tournament, maybe.
Favourites too far for her, but I do believe she can beat Badoza. Not sure about Kasatkina, but it could go close, and I'll be willing her on. Where do you want to go to next? Let's move on, because I know there's so much tennis to go through on day one. Yes. There wasn't any rain, so we had a full schedule, and I didn't realise how many matches were being played. It always surprises me on day one of a slam. Unfortunately, I was at work, so I couldn't watch so many of them live, but I have caught up with highlights, and I was following a lot on social media and seeing clips here and there. So let's go to the next tweet, Ben.
Well, I think as we're on the women, let's speak about one British lady who started her campaign in style. I mean, she freely admitted after this match that she was very nervous. Who's that holding that newspaper? Oh, look, it's me. That was just in London earlier on today. So you can see Raducanu and England football combined in this picture, which is great. And she said she drew some inspiration from the England football team to just keep fighting, even though she was feeling a bit nervous out there. And she said her tennis probably showed she was nervous. The first set, a bit wobbly, but she just got the job done and ended up with a brilliant, I don't know if you saw it, she was getting done by the drop shot the whole entire match. And then the final one, I think the penultimate point of the match, she sprinted to the net and did this beautiful flick just across court. And it was, the crowd were on their feet, and then she got the job done after that. So well done, Emma. Into the next round. Can't wait to see what she does next.
Yeah, good victory for Emma Raducanu, but let's not avoid the elephant in the room here. She's very fortunate the fact that the LTA locked her opponent, her previous opponent, Alexandrova, in a cupboard and didn't let her out, because Alexandrova, I feel, would have done a lot better than Renata Zarazua. But you can only beat who's in front of you. It did go tie break. She still played very well, and she's going to be rewarded with a next round match with Elise Mertens, I believe.
Yep.
And what you showed me here, is this related?
That's just talking about, obviously we were about to speak about Alexandrova as well. And,
So she wasn't actually locked in a cupboard. That's just what I was thinking it happened. The British media, BBC, locking her in the cupboard to allow Raducanu for a few rounds. And it certainly worked, because Zarazua, I don't think, is a grass quarter at all.
No.
And despite her being higher ranked than Raducanu, it's an easier opponent than Alexandrova, that's for sure. But you've now had Azarenka, the other one who's withdrawn due to another shoulder injury, Sabalenka and Alexandrova, all on the bottom half of the women's draw. So it's really opened up that bottom half of the draw. And yeah, 2 shoulder injuries and the champ from Russia with illness. Pliskova's the only one on the bottom half to have made a Wimbledon semi-final. So it's very, very open, that bottom half.
Yeah, I mean, well, Pliskova, she got her marching orders earlier on today as well, though. She got knocked out by Schneider, I believe it was, wasn't it? Yes, yeah, the young Russian who'd just come into this after, I believe, just winning a tournament in the final.
So Pliskova's not there either now.
So Pliskova's gone as well.
She was leading 2-love in that third set.
This opens up. Do you not think, though, this just opens up that bottom half? Coco Gauff right now must be looking at this thinking, what, I couldn't envisage this in my wildest dreams. All of the, they've got Rybakina and Iga at the top. We did have Sabalenka, who's probably the most dangerous one. She's gone. And now we've lost Azarenka, Alexandrova, and, well, if Coco Gauff, she gets through her first couple of matches with flying colours, she's going to be, thriving, I think, in this tournament. And all of the spotlight's going to be probably going on to her as well, and people were expecting her to do very well in this Wimbledon.
Yeah, Coco Gauff's the first under-21 player to win each of their first 17 matches in consecutive seasons against opponents ranked outside the WTA top 50 since Serena Williams in 2001-02. Wow. So it just goes to show, when she is playing these players outside the top 50, she doesn't lose. So now having all these players, these higher ranked opponents coming out, we could see her playing in a quarterfinal against 70 in the world, 80 in the world. Yeah. She's going to win based off the stats. She's looking good. She's got a great opportunity. She maybe is the favourite to win Wimbledon.
Well, I've got her in my bracket. If she won it, I'd be ecstatic as well, because I think that she's one of those players. She needs to win more slams just to build the confidence. I feel like she has her confidence shifted far too easily. Obviously, when she plays someone like an Iga and gets battered, I feel like it takes her a while to recover. And this is the type of tournament where she'd probably consider herself a favourite if she was to face someone like Iga, but they couldn't meet until the final if they were to meet anyway. and who knows how likely it is. Obviously, Iga has a bit of a task on her hands to get there anyway beforehand. Some of the other women's results, let's just fly through some of the other ones, because Naomi Osaka was on court today and a little bit up and down, but got the job done in the end in that third set. I'll just pop some of the results up on the screen here. And you can see there, 6-4. I mean, she was down in that final set as well, really turned it around. So well done to Naomi. And she's looking like she's pushing on into the top 100 now, looking like she's trying to get into that top 10, JG, maybe.
Well, I really need her to go far in all the slams to pick the points up. Donna Vekic had a similar day as Osaka, went the distance. And it was the story of Wimbledon day one. If I had to summarise it, and we'll go back to the women's in a second. Let's go to the men's for a bit, because we've not spoke about them. There were so many 5-set matches.
Yes, I know.
Endless amounts of 5-set matches. And... let's speak about it here. So Bublik comes back from 2 sets down to beat Jakub Mensik.
Yep.
And that's going to really hurt Jakub. It certainly will. And he was the 4th player to come back from 0-2 or love 2 in sets today. Tiafoe, Thompson, Harris, Bublik all come back. And Harris produced maybe one of the shots of the tournament, one of the moments of the tournament, and it was on match point. Incredible. I've watched it so many times.
Same.
Pure popcorn. And Mickelson was up in that tie break. I think he was leading by a few points. Of course, it is a super tie break. 1st to 10 or 2 clear points when you get to that stage. Of course, there was at 9-all, so they had to keep playing. And Harris was being peppered at this moment, 9-10 down. Yep. He had no right to stay on the court, and yet ended up doing some crazy sort of volley, run off the court, fell over, and won the match. Really, really good. I recommend watching it. We can't show it because we'll get in trouble, but this was a great point and one definitely worth watching. Mickelson is going to be such a tough loss to take, because when there wasn't anything separating them. Let's be honest. I mean, it was so close. They was just about as good as each other. I think Lloyd Harris probably was able to get over the line with experience. Maybe Mickelson had the better shots for the duration, but Harris uses experience, and he used that extra bit of grit and determination and fight to get that one extra ball in. And that one extra ball he got back in play today was the difference in this match. It come down to 1 point, 1 moment of magic, and this was probably the highlight of the day for me.
Yeah, I mean, it was incredible. And just his reaction at the end when he just collapsed by the fans that were all cheering that final volley that he got in. And he was, like you said, he was on the back foot for the whole entire rally. He was getting pushed. He nearly fell over at one point during the rally, got back up again, got to the other side of the court, got it back again. Then he had like one of these like backhand smashes that he put like down. Then he was running to the other side. I mean, insane stuff from Lloyd Harris. Fair play to him. He had a bit of a rocky patch, and now he's coming back. And I think he's one of those really solid players when he's playing his best tennis, and a good addition to the men's tour. I think a dangerous player you don't really want to face. Big serving, hard hitting, and now 5-set winner.
Let's speak about some of the other 5-set matches. I want you to say your quick summary on every one. So, Altmaier Ferry. Altmaier winning in 5.
Didn't expect it. I thought that Ferry would get it done. I mean,
no.
He's one of the Brits, which I actually had in my bracket. I thought that he might get it done just because he's a Brit. We had some good Brits today winning.
And Altmaier's a clay quarter. Right, I need quick fire then for these ones. Humbert Shevchenko. Humbert winning in 5 in the 5th set against your friend Shevchenko. You spoke to him, you jinxed him, lost 6-1 in the 5th.
Devastated. I thought he did so well to take it to 5 though.
Vukic Offner, another one of our friends, someone we've played, someone we've spoke to. 10-8 in a tie break in the 5th.
For me, this was a 50-50 match. Well played Offner for doing so well, but yeah.
Agreed. Soul crushing the way he lost, but it was a 50-50 matchup. Another one. There was a few of them, and this was certainly one of them. And I think all of the others we spoke about, Bublik, Mensik. Was there any others?
Zizou
no, there is
Bergs.
one more. Zizou Bergs, Kazao.
Yeah, I mean...
Another 10-8 in the fifth.
Never saw that coming. I thought Bergs would do him in straight sets, and well played to Kazao, I guess. I mean, that's ruined our brackets. I had Bergs going through a few rounds. So, never mind. Any others on there? Well done to Bublik. Got to give him a shout out because I did speak to him the other day. So, I thought he'd given up on professional tennis and was just an exhibitioner after those first two sets.
We can speak about Tiafoe a little bit in more detail because I know you had a good quote from him. He beat Arnaldi. He's one of the ones who was 2 sets down and then won in 5. And it meant a lot to him. And he had some very nice words to say after the match, didn't he?
Well, I mean, he's very critical of himself and he's had a bit of a torrid time. He said, literally, this week last year, I was 10 in the world. Now I'm barely seeded here at Wimbledon, losing to clowns. I hate to say it, but I'm just going to be honest. Oh dear, says Jose Morgado.
Is this disrespectful? Do you hate it? What do you think of it?
I mean, he's being very honest. I mean, but then the players he's beaten probably in recent times or that have beaten him, he probably thinks... Well, I just think that's a...
Well, they must be a bit offended, some of these players.
Yeah, I think so. I think if you're a player who's beaten him, you just think he's got a bit salty, really. You're not playing well. Doesn't mean that they're a clown. They're still... Everyone in the top, couple of hundred are solid players. You have to be mentally there. He hasn't been. So that's on him.
So some of these clowns... Is it Jack Draper? He lost to at Stuttgart. Is it Hijikata? He could be a clown. Shapovalov, Rinderknecht, Koepfer, Correa, Cashin, Shelton.
Sounds like he's been to the whole circus.
Which one's the clown?
I mean,
O'Connell, Tsitsipas, Tiafoe, that's him. Koepfer again. Gosh, doesn't like Koepfer.
Maybe
Koepfer's the biggest clown.
That's it. Comes out on the court. But, I mean, it is a bit of a shocking thing to say, but I do appreciate his honesty, and that's how he feels in his mind. It's not true. They're not clowns, but that's how he feels his level is so high. Obviously, he went to a semi-final of the US Open, so he knows that he has a high level in there. But it's the same thing when we started doing the podcast.
Nadal as well.
Well, when we started the podcast, yeah, he did ruin Nadal, but I don't think that was the real Nadal. When we started,
Nadal's one of the clowns.
You were.
Oh no, he beat that one.
you always said, Tiafoe, he's just always so up and down. It's hard to really get behind him. It's just one of those players who is just always drifting in and out.
Then it become really good, so I had to eat my words. But I feel like what I used to say is starting to become more true again. And I guess it would make sense because I did say he's up and down. He's 1 minute he's brilliant, the next minute he's not so good. It's a bit of a Grigor Dimitrov, but Dimitrov seems to have this steady level now, and he's he's aging like fine wine. That's what they said in the commentary afterwards and the post-match interview. And he said he's never drunk any wine, so doesn't know what it tastes like. Do you believe that?
I don't know. For me, that sounds crazy. I would have thought, I look at Dimitrov, I think Playboy lifestyle, I think there's definitely got to be the odd tipple in there, but maybe not. I don't know.
He's a pretty fit guy, so is he like a real health addict?
Health nut? Well, talking about somebody who's a pretty fit guy, it's the reigning champion.
Finally, 18 minutes, almost 19 minutes, and we've not even spoken about Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner.
Yes, come on.
Terrible. The number 1 and the number 3. They're both on the top half of the men's draw. Are they destined for a semi-final under the lights at Wimbledon? It seems like it. And Carlos Alcaraz said, what a privilege and honour to play on centre court at Wimbledon. A difficult match, but happy with the win. How did you assess his performance against one of the Island boys today?
It was one of the Island Boys, wasn't it? It was one of the most bizarre hairstyles I've ever seen from a tennis player. But I wasn't mad at it because I like a little bit of something that ruffles Wimbledon's feathers. They probably saw him and were like, whoa, this is a bit out there for Wimbledon. But I quite liked it. I thought he actually played really well. Is it Leal? I'm not sure how you say
Mark
the name.
Leal.
Yeah, I thought he played his part very well. I thought he played well in
good
spells.
Performance. Good player.
But
I think he could do some good stuff in the future.
But Alcaraz, very, very workmanlike. I mean, he turned it on when he had to. You saw as soon as he got broken, he broke back to love like the next game, and then he served out to love. It was one of those, if he needed to put another level on, he had it. And
he had it there waiting, didn't he?
It's just, I don't want to be disrespectful to Leal, but he was never winning that match. There was no chance.
I still think he played his part, and he's going to leave the court with his head held high, playing on centre court of Wimbledon against not world number one, but more or less, he's one of the best players, the reigning champion, and I think he'd be really pleased with his showing. And similar with Jannik Hanfmann, I thought he played brilliantly today against Jannik Sinner. Sinner had it tough. He struggled through a little bit. I didn't think it was vintage Sinner. I thought Hanfmann was really good, and it was I did say this to you. You laughed at me. You said I'm an idiot. I think Sinner's going to drop sets on his way to the semi. It could be a set every single round. I think he's going to be dropping another set against Berrettini, most likely another one against Greek Spor after that, if that's how the route plays out. It's a tough draw for Jannik Sinner. It really is. And it's not going to be easy. He's the bookie's favourite. He's the Opta Ace, all the AI, the IBM, whatever statistic you want to look at. They've got him as number one, 17%, maybe a 12%. Alcaraz, I think Djokovic is in with the 9s, and there's Zverev just below in 7. But Sinner's your number one. It feels like it's going to be tough. I don't quite buy into the stats anymore. I put him to win it. You've put him to win it. Seeing that today has just reinforced some ideas that his draw's tough and it's not going to be that easy. And I actually make Carlos Alcaraz favourite for Wimbledon after today's showing. And the draw and the way I think it's playing out, I think it is a lot easier for Alcaraz to win Wimbledon than Jannik Sinner.
Definitely.
I know only the other day I did my bracket, but based off what I've seen today, I feel Alcaraz has a better shot of winning Wimbledon than Sinner.
Yeah, I was feeling the exact same way after watching Jannik Sinner today. I mean, fair play to Jannik Hanfmann, though. He's not like someone like Leal in the first round. It's somebody who's actually quite seasoned. He's played in plenty of top matches already before. He served very, very well today.
The Lion from Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, it definitely is. And it was the battle of the Yannicks as well. So he had to come up against another Jannik, and that's always tough. I thought that he just got it done. It didn't matter how you got it done. This is where sort of the comparisons with Djokovic, I'm going to keep throwing them out there, can drop a set in the first round, even in the second round. Djokovic doesn't mind. And I'm so interested in Djokovic's first round match now. Like, I want to see how Djokovic is playing because we've seen Alcaraz now. We've seen Sinner now. Let's see how Djokovic gets on because if he gets
it is exciting. I'm looking forward to Djokovic tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, does Kapriva come out the traps fast? Does Djokovic start slow, or does Djokovic just show no signs of injury whatsoever? So I'm so excited for Djokovic's first match, and if he serves like we know he can, like everyone just beware because Djokovic could cruise through the first few rounds if he does. So anyway, moving on to, another stat for Alcaraz, because I know that you'd sent me this one to bring up, and this is Alcaraz at Grand Slam level since his first title run at the US Open in 2022. And if you're just watching, or just listening rather, you can see all the greens in a row there with only 3 losses, 36 wins, 3 losses, 92.3% since then, which is pretty astounding, really. Look at that.
Pretty dominant. He's world class in Grand Slams. When you look at them losses, I don't know exactly who they all are, but I'm assuming Djokovic and Zverev, is it? Djokovic, Zverev, Sinner, maybe? Something like that. It's only going to be the very best players. You've not seen him lose to any average Joe or a clown, as Tiafoe would say.
It is, yeah. It is Djokovic, Zverev, Sinner. I think that is right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, doesn't get much better, does it? Crazy. Let's speak about somebody else who, obviously, we've been speaking about Djokovic with his injury recovery. Somebody else,
Murray?
a former Wimbledon champion, also keeping us waiting.
Yes.
Is he going to be
Here's
playing?
Murray.
Or is he not?
Well, he's going to decide Tuesday morning whether he's fit enough to play his round 1 match at Wimbledon versus Mahatch. He's scheduled for last match on centre court. And he won a practice today, 6-3, 2-love versus Edmund. I'm sorry, it's just embarrassing. It really is. If we're looking at him playing Carl Edmund, as any kind of indicator whether he's ready, just even if you go up to the score, they didn't even finish the match. Edmund probably, I don't know, was like, I'm too tired, I can't play this anymore, and gave up after 2-love down. It's a retirement in practice. Have you ever seen something so ridiculous? That does not fill me with any confidence in Andy Murray. You got Kyrgios coming out on Piers Morgan saying, yeah, this is his last ever season, he's not going to be playing, I think it's time for him to hang it up. It's his last Wimbledon for sure. He can do what he wants to do. It's Sir Andy Murray at the end of the day, and he brings the hype to Wimbledon, and people want to be there on Henman Hill cheering for Andy Murray. It's going to be a real big horror show against Mahatch. I just don't think he has the level.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, really
He dropped 3 games to Edmund. I think that's for me. I'd be worried about that.
I mean,
it's a cause for concern.
I think
Edmund couldn't finish.
The face says it all here. It doesn't look like the most content after winning that match against Edmund. I mean, Mahatch is definitely on the come up, and we saw when he beat Djokovic recently. If you can beat Djokovic, I think you can probably beat Murray. I'm sorry, that's not the best tennis maths, but
it is a shame though, because it is magic when he's at Wimbledon. Like, he's probably created your best moments in tennis at Wimbledon.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's important to show that respect, and certainly for me as well. Maybe not my best moments, but some really magical ones at school when everyone was really getting behind him playing at Wimbledon, and I remember watching it when we should be working at school, and it was just like good times, good memories, and it will be sad. But like now, it's just got to the stage where I'm slowly getting close to like Venus Williams levels of I'm done with watching it.
Yeah, he's not winning many these days, and that's the most frustrating thing. And I don't think he's even like conjuring up break points or anything. I feel like he's just being a bit of a journeyman right now. Is this a one last big hurrah? Can he get a win? Can he just give us one last piece of excitement on the Wimbledon turf? I hope so. But let's talk about some other old players, because you sent me a tweet about some other oldies in the tour. Stan Wawrinka and Gael Monfils. And it says here, 77 and 37. 77 years and 37 days will be the oldest combined age in a men's singles match in Wimbledon since Rod Laver, Bob Howe in 1971. Classic. Well, I mean, Gael, we've had the pleasure of meeting him. Lovely chap. And he's like defying the years, I think, these days, Gael Monfils. He's had like a bit of a resurgence back on the tour, hasn't he? He's looking better than he did, say, a couple of years ago. Stan, I don't know how he just keeps going as well, keeps plodding along, keeps winning a few matches here and there.
They've not played that many times. I don't understand it. They've only played 6 matches. You'd expect there to be a lot more.
Shock.
I find it really bizarre that they've not played more times. The head-to-head's tied at 3-3. Gael won the last meeting in 2019. They've never played on grass.
When was their first match?
I don't know, but they've never played on grass. So this is going to settle it. It's going to be crazy because they might never. I don't think they're ever going to play again. It seems like their paths don't meet much. And if we've only seen 6 over this amount of years, then we're probably not going to see any more after this one. And who's going to win? It's a big matchup. I actually put Gael Monfils as favourite.
Yeah, me too. I think that he's impressed me with. I think his physicality and his agility.
He's got 2 years on Stan as well.
Well, it could
younger.
Could make all the difference. Plus, I feel like his physique is a little bit more athletic. No offense, Stan. Don't come after me. But he's a little bit more on the chunky side, whereas Gale. He's a bit more flexible, more like acrobatic, let's say. But I'm just looking here at their head-to-head. Yeah, they first played their first match in 2007, then 2009, 2010, 2011, then didn't play each other for 6 years after that, 2017, then 2019, and now it's been 5 years since they last played. This is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, how bizarre is that? Well, that's a good place to finish up, I think, for our day one roundup. Quick look at just a couple of the women's ones.
So I think we missed some of the women's. Let's just end on some of them. Shout out to Cartal from GB.
Yes,
really good performance against Steyer. Shout out to Miyazaki as well, who beat Korpach 6-2, 6-1. Very good odds if you took a bet on that. I wish I did. It was really an obvious, glaring one as well. And the big loss, I think we should speak about that. Qinwen Zheng losing.
Yeah, I mean, to Lulu Sun. Yeah, that's a massive upset, to be honest. I think Lulu Sun has been coming on the radar for me, like recently. I mean, she came through the qualifying.
Is that the biggest upset of the day?
Yeah, I would say that's bigger than Andreeva, to be honest.
I think so. I didn't see it happening at all. It's a banker that Qinwen Zheng was going to win that one. Yeah,
I mean, she's going to be so disappointed, especially she's one of the biggest servers on the women's tour, one of the best servers, and this surface would suit her. But she's gone. And she's not really living up to the hype of late, Qinwen Zheng. She had that run, was it Australian Open, but that was when she didn't have to play anyone big at all.
She's been riding on easy draws. She's got a good serve, good foundations. She's a good player, but nothing more than just that. I don't even think she's a top 10 player. I think she's more between the 20 to 50 range, maybe 10 to 50 at a real push, but she's not a top 10 player in my eyes. She's doing her ranking's better than what she is. But let's wait and see. I think she's quite good on the clay courts as well, being from China. And I think that sums up day one action. We'll be back tomorrow for another roundup. We'll also be doing some previews. I want to go into more detail on Jannik Sinner versus Berrettini, because that is a big, massive matchup in round 2.
Yes.
A finalist versus a semi-finalist at Wimbledon. But the semi-finalist is favourite because he's just been so dominant this last year or so. So much to speak about there. We'll be doing that. And yeah, of course, we'll be talking about Djokovic tomorrow for sure, because we're fascinated to see how he gets on. Let us know what you thought about day one. If you agree or disagree with any of the things we've spoke about in the comments section, make sure to like the video, subscribe if you're new, and you can also check us out on Spotify.
And one last thing before we go, there's another player playing tomorrow who we actually just recently interviewed. It's Hubert Hurkacz. If you want to see our interview with Hubert Hurkacz, then go over to our Patreon and sign up. It's as little as £3 a month, and you can get exclusive interviews with Bublik, Hurkacz, Shevchenko, and Alexei Poprin. So it just helps support the channel. Appreciate it.
It's me versus Hubie Hurkacz, me quizzing him on why I think he can beat Novak Djokovic. Make sure to watch it. It's very good.
That's it. Right.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.